What's up guys, Kyle here. Today I'm going to be trying to fix a issue that I think I've been having for the past couple weeks. I'm going to let you guys know what happens once I'm done. So if you couldn't tell by the title of the video, we're going to be installing some new clutch plates or discs in here. Also changing out the clutch springs that are in here as well. So that's all in this little kit here. So in this box you're going to get these clutch discs that go together. They should be a high friction, so it should create a lot more grabbing power and should hopefully last a long time. Also, you're going to get some springs, clutch springs. They're a little bit stiffer than stock, so what that should do is that should create more of a friction between these plates, which should create a better pop. Now, a lot of you guys are going to hate me for this one, but I just changed my oil. So I will be laying the bike down just like so, very gently, like I just did. That way I could take off this cover without draining all the oil. So I'm just going to sit the camera there for a second. So basically I'm just going to go ahead and take off this clutch cable that I have and then start getting it all apart. So now I'm just working on taking out all these 8mm bolts around the case. Now, just to mention, the kit I got does come with the gasket that comes around it. I'm going to try to just reuse this one so I have an extra. Okay, so I just got all those apart, and I'm just going to start trying to work it. Okay, so I just went ahead and grabbed some shop towels. I'm just going to sit it up underneath as it is coming out the side a little bit just from the excess. Actually having to push down my brake lever, but when I push that down it gets really close. There it goes. So you got to push down your brake lever a little bit to get it out. So I just took the cover off and actually some water is getting in my engine. If you could see there, that's oil and water together. So I just did an oil change. Literally it's brand new oil. But I also just rode in a monsoon. If you didn't see that on Instagram, yeah, that was pretty bad. So I'm thinking that I need to stop riding in the rain, and I'm going to change my oil very soon to get rid of that. So now getting back to the video, we're going to go ahead and take off this little spinner here. It's got a 19mm nut on it. This socket is actually just barely too short, so I'm just going to kind of make it work. And it's spinning the engine. There we go. Would recommend a deep socket 19mm if you have it. I don't have it, but I made it work. Now we're just going to pull this off. Okay, so that took some persuasion, so that was definitely weird. So when you pull up, you kind of got to twist it a little bit. I was just trying to pull up and it wouldn't go. So I just twisted a little bit and it came right out. So now since this is out of the way, we can go ahead and take these little small bolts off. I really recommend using a 6-point on this as they are smaller and you don't want to mess them up. So I'm just going to go around and don't take one all the way off. Just take them off evenly. Gosh, that's tight. There we go. Probably wouldn't hurt to try to take out these bolts before you do that. Or not take them out, but at least loosen them. So now we can go ahead and take this off. Make sure to not drop this bearing as the bearing can slide out like this. Now these springs right here are the stock springs. They're a little bit easier to press in. Now I really like how easy it is to press in. So I might be only doing 3 stock springs like a stock, and then the stiffer, stock, stiffer, stock, stiffer. But Justin has all of them, and it's not too hard to pull the clutch. So I just figured I'd give it a shot because I want to see the difference if you just do 3 of the soft and 3 of the harder ones. Okay, so it looks like we got another 19mm nut right here. Ow, my finger. There we go. That is pretty tight. Now I'm going to take this. I've actually done a video before with the Grom, and this actually messed up my last clutch on my Grom. So I'm going to make sure I got this right. So when I'm taking mine off, I've got the lettering on the top, and now I'm just going to lift this straight off. And then now I see this lettering right here, and there's lettering right there that says FCC. I don't know if that's the same on everybody else's, but I'm going to make sure that it goes on that exact way again. That way I don't mess up anything. So as I'm pulling out my first set of clutch plates, it looks as if mine are a little worn. Most definitely a burnt look. So definitely wasn't a bad thing to change them. Oh, this is a different one. So, okay, maybe they're different. So it looks like the way they've got it, it's like the spiral kind of plate, then one of those, and then the rest of them are, you know, those straight ones that I'm used to, and then it's the spiral again. I'll have to take a look at the new ones and see if that's like that too. So actually these are different. They're all the spiral. So maybe that's going to give me a lot better clutch feel. I'm not really sure. But you can see right here, it's a silver color. I mean, I'm not sure if that's the same, but if that's true, so there's the difference right there. You can see this looks burnt. I'm not sure if that's just the normal color of it, but you can see this has a bigger contact patch right here, as these are smaller little angles. So the next step is going to be to put all this stuff in the motor, but before I do, I'm going to go ahead and soak these in oil because I should have done that to begin with. So this is basically the setup I've got right here. I've got the oil in here and most of them are touching, and then I'm just going to keep twisting them every couple minutes. I've got some other stuff I could work on while that's happening. Okay, so it's been maybe 15 minutes. I've been soaking these in some oil like I was showing you before. So you're going to go from the spiral to the normal circle and then back to the spiral, and you're just going to keep doing that over and over and over again. So now these teeth right here have got to line up. There's teeth on the inside, if you could see that. I don't know if you can, but there's small teeth going on the inside. So basically my quick solution for that is I'm just going to take a quick razor blade and I'm just going to try to line up all the little teeth on the inside. So I'm just going to sit here and line them up. So now they all line up pretty decent. So now it's time to put this piece back on. So I remembered my FCC is right here. Don't know if yours is the same, but if it is, great. So letter with letter, and then I'm just going to set that on top. It might take a little twisting, and it seems like that is in all the way. All right, so I believe that is in all the way now. So now I'm just going to go ahead and put the nut back on. Run that down with the impact gun. Maybe like 2 uggas. Use my rag so I don't cut my hand. Couple more uggas than I said. So on this part, don't follow me. I would put in all the stiffer springs, but for this, I'm going to be a guinea pig. I was talking to Justin. I'm going to put a stiff, then a soft, and a stiff, then a soft. I'm going to go back and forth because I really like how easy it is to pull the clutch right now. So I would like to keep that kind of feel, but I want to see how big of a difference I get with just changing it a little bit, making it a little more stiff. I'm kind of going in between, if that makes any sense. So basically, I want to go to the harder clutch spring, but I want to stay where it's easy to pull. So I'm basically combining them and making it where it's kind of in between. So I'm going to be a guinea pig here, most definitely, but I'll let you guys know what happens. So now I'm just going to throw on this plate right here. Also, the old bolts that you had won't be reused. You got these old little ones right here. They look like stainless steel, maybe zinc. We got grade 8 bolts, and they have these washer pieces on them, which are better. If you could see that, it's kind of like a washer on there. So we're going to be using those. Highly recommend just going ahead and using these as they're grade 8, so it's better quality and the fact that it might be needed for those stronger springs. I can already tell that the springs are stiffer because I can't get the nut or bolt to start without having to push down that. So now I got one on each side started. So now since I got two of them started, they're all kind of threading in real easy. And when you put all these bolts in, make sure that you do, you know, them very evenly. Don't tighten down this one all the way and then this one all the way. Make sure that you tighten them bit by bit. You can go in a circle, you can go in a star, whatever you want. So now in tightening these up, I'm just going to go around, tighten them all up pretty decent, not too much. Don't know the exact torque specs, so sorry, but I'm just going to tighten them up all pretty decent. Now this is a big thing that I'm really thankful for, so thank you, Kawasaki. This is a big thing that Honda did wrong, where they have 3 bolts in this. I actually made a video trying to help people because Honda just has 3 bolts and then gives you a torque spec, and you can tighten it down too much or too little and it will affect the entire clutch assembly because it's changing how much those springs are pushed in at a certain time. So either your clutch will engage all the time or it won't engage at all, which mainly it doesn't engage at all. But Kawasaki stopped that. They have a stopper behind this piece, so that way you can tighten these down and you don't have to worry about the little, you know, going too far or going too little. It's perfect every time. So thank you, Kawasaki, for fixing that and not having a problem. So now we're just going to put on this spinner here. So again, just kind of twisting, pushing it down. I guess eventually it'll go in. There it goes. There we go. Definitely took some persuasion. That definitely took me a minute, but I just kept twisting and pushing down and it finally went in. It's like scraping the side of this clutch assembly, so I don't know. But it eventually went in. So don't forget the nut that goes on that. Should be good. Now I'm going to throw on this cover. I went ahead and kind of rinsed it out and then put some oil in there just to kind of, I don't know, get some of that junk out. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and try to put that back on. Oil's probably going to drip everywhere, which is going to suck. Maybe that wasn't a good idea. So, all right, well, it went on pretty easy. All right, so push that all down. And then all these bolts that we took out are the exact same. So just going to slowly go around and highly recommend starting them by hand. And then, yeah. Probably should have stopped being lazy and went ahead and changed over that gasket, but I didn't. But we'll try this out, see if it holds oil. And if there's no leaks, then there's no reason to change it. Pause. Just go ahead and put on that gasket. It's the next day. I'm sitting here taking it apart all again just to put this gasket on because I wanted to save it. Just use it. Just freaking use it. So all the bolts are tight. So now I'm just going to try to feed my clutch cable in. So I might need some pliers depending on your strength, I guess. There we go. I got it done. So I just took some pliers and just put it right there, and it gave me a lot of leverage to get that moved. So, all right. So now I'm just gonna pick the bike up. All right. So here's the moment of truth. I just tested out the clutch, just kind of, I don't know, not thinking about it. It's definitely harder to pull. It's not very hard to pull, but definitely a little bit of a difference. So yeah, it might have paid off though to not put all the stiff springs in there, as it would have been even harder to pull. And I want to be able to pull it with one finger so I can have that rear brake ready. So if you're not stunting and everything, you might as well just do a shorty lever or a normal lever, and then that's not hard to pull at all. So just go ahead and go to the full stiff spring. So all right, without further ado, we're going to try it out. So it cranks up, everything revs. I'm going to go ahead and put up the kickstand. There's first gear, and it is moving. So you can see I just let on the clutch just a little, and it's moving. I might adjust the clutch, but it's definitely working. So as you can see there, I was barely letting out on the clutch and it was moving, so I might end up adjusting the clutch a little bit just to make it better for me. But yeah, it works. It's pulling away. So in the next video, I'll be talking about the differences between the new clutch, how easy it is to pull, the differences in pop, stuff like that. So if you're interested in this, make sure you check out the next video about this. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed.